Hello and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have an Emerald Vi versus an Emerald Jarvan, analogs of each other. At least historically, when we used to have Camille Jungle, Jarvan Jungle, Vi Jungle, and around Season 8, they were all known as similar to each other because they've got a gap closer that does some CC, and they've got a lockdown ultimate. And some shield, and sometimes some percentage max HP damage, or in Camille's case, a Cho'Gath ultimate. Anyway, we're going on a late invade here with the Vi, nothing happens, so we're going to be late to our blue. However, that's no stress for us. The Jarvan's going to be starting down here, and this is the thing. When you're playing a champion that's very similar to another champion, you could say Karthus and Fiddlesticks would be a similar kind of champion style. You kind of start to fuse your game plans a little bit, right? You sort of, okay, they want to do this, I also want to do this. Do I want to do it to the same side? How do I stop them accomplishing what I want to accomplish? And it kind of changes the dynamic of your game plan a little bit. Now, in Emerald, random things can happen quite extraordinarily. We have Deep Ward here that doesn't really do anything unless a Jarvan walks on it, but he's dragging it to the left here. He should not be detected. There should be no raptors shown. So we know, or don't know exactly what he's doing, but in this case, you kind of see the pings, and that's the thing. If you just place this ward a little deeper, you're going on a late invade. You're the Vi, anybody else. If you're the Vi, specifically, use your ward. So the late invades I don't like, but if you can use your ward, right, okay, I'm going to place it somewhere where I'm at least going to get value. So if the player doesn't necessarily work out, okay, is he going red Raptors Krugs? Is he going red Krugs Raptors? Let me know. Because what you see are pings on the map. Like, be careful, the Jarvan could show up. Yes, he could. And I'm going to be sequencing from blue side to top side. And now the Jarvan ganks. But you had no idea what was going to happen. And, doomed, right? If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries that has weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle div every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. Whereas if you saw him go up, you're less preoccupied with this notion and you know where he is, and your bottom lane can go for this trade freely without worrying about where the Jarvan is, and you have to think about this. If your bottom lane go for this trade, whether they win or not is irrelevant, right? But if you ping off the Jarvan potentially being there, and they listen to it and they hear it, now they get nervous. Whereas if you let them just play the 2v2 accordingly, without any pings, maybe they win it. And that's something to think about. It's not always going to be the case, obviously, but thinking about these things makes you a better jungler. Now, Garen is pushing in the Riven, as one would expect in this particular case. How many good Rivens do you see nowadays? And the Jarvan does the Wolves Grump for good sequencing. For some reason, walks this way. Oh, I know what he was looking at, but he was never going to get this gank off. He is trying to get into the Garen here as the Garen wards us. So I like that he pulls off the Grump. I don't like that he walked around that long way. He could have been here a little sooner, but this is a very good gank. Much like the main channel video I just covered where the Kha'Zix was doing the same kind of thing, gave up his blue to make sure he got a gank off, obviously got the Scuttle Crab as well. Huge, right? Vi in the meantime now will be finishing this off slowly. She had to start Q, she had that late invade, compromise and no leash, so now you know you're out of position. However, if you stop right now and you press tab and you look at the Jarvan ganking this lane, you're like, 20 CS, no blue. What does it mean? Blue's up, Crab is up. How many Jarvans, how many junglers in this elo are basically going to give those two things up just to deny you a scuttle, just to gank lanes, just to keep going? Very few. So, back to base, go straight down, get your Scuttle Crab, do something about the bottom lane, because obviously they will reset, they have their lead, punish them, some were burned. We can do something about that while the Jarvan is busy doing these things. Instead, though, she's going to go through the Tribush, try and steal this crab, which you can't do. Sees the Jarvan on his blue, right? But Riven can easily rotate, obviously. The wave's pushed in here for the Garen also. Xerath can also rotate, obviously, so this is a complete waste of time. Now everybody knows what you're doing. Their bottom lane here has Prio, and this guy's decided to roam. You see this, right? He moves through here. This gets hit up, and you know he's going to be cutting you off. You've telegraphed to everyone what you want to accomplish. Not so good. Not so good at all. Walking through. Jarvan's hanging around. Rakan's going to go for the gank on the Twisted Fate. You see? Flash EQ. Vi shows up. Counter ganks it. But to what end? To what end, I ask you? Because now we're forced to flash roll. The Jarvan Q misses and then he hits the E. But if anyone had hit spells, nice E through the Rakan there though. If anyone had hit their spells, they actually would have been able to get a lot of kills, or at least kill the Vi. The Vi turned it around nicely because they didn't punish her mechanically. And now that Jarvan's hanging around here, just go get the crab, call it a day. You'd be in a great position. You know, this isn't gankable right now, but maybe it could be if you and the Rakan all go this direction, but the Rakan is low HP, you're low HP. You know the Vi's gonna have to go back to base, right? It's just a bit of a mess. And it's all because of the Vi. Now the Vi is gonna rectify the situation, hopefully. Xerath has TP. So by rectify the situation, I mean make it worse. Categorically worse. This is just a failure across the board, right? Go back to base. You know the guy's going to be busy. Take this. Do something about this. Rakan doesn't get to run because you cut it off. Jungle diff. Alternatively, you go contest for no particular reason. They collapse on you. You cut across mid lane. Rakan shows up. Jarvan rotates over to this fight to collapse on the Twisted Fate. And they mess up mechanically, which gives you a free kill. And then you mess up mechanically again. Or not mechanically in your brain. Just leave. So the Vi gave them back the gift that they gave to Vi in the first place. They ain't Valentine's Day no more. Now the Thresh and the Aphelios can afford to go all in on the Xayah, who's got no sums, and they can just kill her. So, while this works out for the Vi in this particular regard, it's not something that she necessarily set up at all, right? It's not something she set up and pre-planned. You're at bottom lane carrying because you gave them some situation that can be used, but you yourself are not doing anything. Jarvan stays out because he can, didn't go for this because he could not, I don't know why, and now falls back down to this. Vi doesn't even think about doing the Scuttle Crab, assumes it's probably gone at this stage, although I don't know why you would assume that. Decides to do her Grump first. This guy's ulting. Doesn't notice, does he just want to go through this, or does he not notice, is he numb? He's down 2 levels, he's got no sums, and he's just, alright, well then. So Jarvan's got 4 assists from this. Goes back to base. Bottom lane are now 1-2-1, and we're on the Scuttle Crab. This is weird, right? Because now our wolves are up. Raptors are up. Krogs are up. We've done the Scuttle Crab. Yeah, we killed the Xerath, which is great. But our tempo is all off, and it's wonky. And I don't like wonky tempo, I'll tell you that much. No, we don't. Like Big Boss, Nas Your Honor, Episode 1. Big nose. Now you're kind of waiting to get 6 here. I mean, why would we go gank this? See, here's where it's interesting. This is some low elo tendencies that kind of get stuck in Emerald as well. You go ahead and you do this wolf camp. And now you're like, well, you know, the blue's coming up. Could wait for 6. Why don't you just carry on sequencing? Like, the blue isn't going to dictate your game. There's no herald right now. You could very easily do this and then hold this a little bit, or you could just hold this as it is, as it were. Probably do this and then hold. You get level 6. Twisted Fate can move on down, then maybe you can ult in, all engage, maybe now you can kill him, right? Maybe, hypothetically. But going in here, halfway to level 6, against a guy who can just hit you with a Z, then he can slow you with his W when it's up, obviously it's not up currently. He can re-poke you back out with the Q, decides to 9999. So it's, when did Swag's thumbnails take over the replay, the 9999? I'm kidding, but it's still funny. Now we're going to go down here and say, right, let's have a look at this red buff. We put a ward here. You know, Jarvan could be here coming back to his red with the bottom lane. He could be up here. We don't know. We're only going to know when he shows at this particular point in time. Garen flashes. So you could have had the red. But again, something we didn't really know about. I just don't like this. We did a full clear. And instead of just doing the smart thing, the intelligent thing, again, watch the main channel video. Really good about how to give up a crab. For those on the main channel watching this in the movie form, I'll leave a link in the description for you. It's so big when you understand this stuff. Because now, all we've really done is full clear, done some fisting, literally died. Run down here, done a grub, killed someone who wasn't paying attention, done a wolf camp, gone here, gone to the dragon, now we're going to the blue. We will get 6 from this, obviously. Now we can use our level 6, so we are getting places. The Jarvan's coming out of base here. Alright, 004, so I do like this game. All of this stuff in the second rotation I don't like, but I do like this game, because I hit 6, she's going to use her ultimate, we can just hit our Q, we've got our ultimate as necessary in the crown, so we can just use it and get a double kill for our Aphelios. I would take some yourself, 3-1-1, but then if you get one of those kills, give it to your ADC, let them recoup some of the losses. Now this ward will be good if Jarvan shows on it, let's see if he does. Should do. Got nothing else to do, obviously he's going to be down here, we see that, cool. Now we're on the top side. So the Jarvan also, second sequence was a bit weird, because he stayed out to do this, this, and this without buying. So he is going to go to the top side thereafter. Try something on the top lane on the Garen. Again, a tough lane to gank. We spoke about that in one of the coaching videos earlier on. You got to have the right assessment on it, yeah? And Now Vi goes from red to Raptors. Why would you go red to Raptors here? What's the logic going red to Raptors? I don't really see it. Because, you know, you're not level 7. You know Jarvan was on the bottom side, so you know he's not going to necessarily go straight for that Herald. And even if he was, right, which he could and maybe should try and force that a little bit, you know, the Riven has total control up here, and obviously you got to pay attention to the Xerath. Like, if the Xerath is still in the lane, then sure, but if Xerath's basing, then as Jarvan, you can afford to kind of go ahead. But then, therein lies the question, which jungler is sneaking it away in the fog of war? Because one has a lane in the mid, one has a lane in the top lane, you never know. Just gonna gank the Riven. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. She's over pushing. We can do the commitment to the top lane, help Garen boil some water. But then why couldn't you just go Krugs, Red, Raptors? Now, it's not ideal sequencing, yeah, but it's all about the direction. You can always go Red, Krugs, Raptors, which is what I usually do in this case, just because I want to shadow into this, and I want to wait for my top laner to show up. And then just to go back, because I wanted to show you the timing. See, he's basing here. So if you say, all right, I expect the Riven to auto push this. I don't know why you would expect it, but, you know, say you do. You know, you see the Xerath pushing this out. The Red Raptors makes very little sense in any situation. Like, if you want to gank mid lane, the guy's going to go back to base. You want to gank top lane, you're going to go all the way back up. You want to go to the Herald, you're not yet level 7 to fight the Jarvan. And you don't know what the Jarvan's doing at all after he did the Raptors. So, his Raptors, not yours. So, basically, if you said, all right. She's pushing this now. I expect her to do that because that's what she's been doing the whole game. She's got 63 CS, same as the Garen. Why did I do the Raptors, float back up to the Krugs, quickly snack those, and then join up with the Garen? Now, here it works out where the timing is pretty good, so she doesn't actually have to do the Krugs, but I'm not entirely sure that's exactly what she was thinking about. So, really good read. Like, if that was your goal, to go Red, Raptors, Krugs, gank top lane, but top lane push really quickly, and you could gank it before the Krugs, then yeah, hell yeah, you do that. So this is good, right? I'm just questioning whether it was in the brain as much, because you can always go Red Krugs Raptors or Red Krugs, do this, shout it out to this, and then take that. So if you guaranteed knew the timing would be better just to do Red Krugs and then gank top lane, then I would have done that. What is with the 9,999 numbers popping up? Obviously this guy overcommits, we'll sneak this away, that's fine. Hopefully. Get it. Level 8 on the See? We went back to base, we spent our monies. But if you do this into this, do this into this, now you can do that, into that, and maybe gank this. How much gold do you have in pocket that you want to actually stay out versus go back to base? That's always the question, right? Here now we have 900. I feel like 900 is a good amount to go and spend, but I'm not feeling too driven by it because I know the Jarvan will go back to base because he's sequenced up, he will kill, he will spend, and he will go back down here. So I think most likely I do Raptors, base, and go straight down here with intent to get the scuttle, to ping this off, to counter gank it through a lane gank, or simply to gank into a gank and use the Herald, right? That's what we want to do. So, Red Krugs, gank top lane, take this, clean this up. This quadrant's nicely enjoyed. You've got all of this up here. Dragon's going to be coming up next. And by the time you're done with all of this stuff, the Raptors and the Krugs would have respawned, even though the spawn times are way off because you did them in a different order. You're going to be down bottom lane, but for 3 minutes plus, they will both have respawned and you're good to go. So I think that's a better play. Instead of leaving the Krugs on the map, which is an edge camp for no reason, we do go down to the bottom side here, looking to use this Herald, shadow the Jarvan. Don't take the Herald. Unfortunately, the bottom lane goes way too deep, which is, that happens. You can do nothing about that, which is why I talk so much about this general experience and quadrant clearing, because if you don't get these opportunities, like right now, where you try to do something, as this guy does, and you get nothing because you had weird back timers and you're leaving camps on the map, you're going to fall behind pretty damn quickly. She's almost level, she just hit level 8, there you go. But the Jarvan is almost level 9, right? So, yeah, you're seeing the lack of camps, 10 CS does a lot, and she has 5 out of 10 KP. The guy is 6 out of 7, he's got higher KP. Not that he's jungled particularly well, it's just that his sequencing has been better. It just gives him a little more extra. Like, what are we doing right now? You're just intentionally shadowing the Jarvan, and now you're going to shadow gank the Garen, or use a Herald and Garen, and gank the Riven. That's all fine, but I don't like this at all. I feel like what I'm saying was a way better play. Jarvan, on the other hand, is definitely bottom side. We saw that. Riven's just going to go on us now because she knows what's coming. Do you really get anything from this? Plates, but that's about it. Yeah. It's the kind of thing that can make you feel good and make you feel like you're making a good decision, but you're not at all. It is not. It's gonna work because it's Emerald, but again, it shouldn't really work. Like, you should be severely punished for this. So, our camps are out of sequence because we got a Grump that's gone, we got Krugs that are now gone, and you know, we kill the Riven because we have Alt button plus the Garen, we're forcing the Xerath to show up over here. This is all good, but you can do it in the flow. Jarvan's gonna snack that dragon up, and we do die to the Xerath. Now there's no wave. They can just move to the mid lane and shove this out, get a few plates in the final minute. Xerath does die as well. No. Red Krugs, gank top, snack this, take this, go back to base. I'm coming bot lane. Oh, you died anyway. Well, that's fine. I'll just do my camps here quickly. Take the Scuttle Crab as well. I'll wait for you to show up again while I do that. When I do that, we'll activate the Herald here. We shove this down. We push the Jarvan out. We fall back to the Dragon. That's a better play. The flow play. Now, you can always counter jungle, or you can go back to base, and now you can go topside. Right? You follow? If you're Emerald, you should start to follow these things. What you don't want to do is leave the Krugs on the map for your top lane or someone else to take. Then you go back to base. You have only if your Grump taken, you take this and you cross all the way back up to top lane. Like, you took the Herald, went back to base, took one thing, and went all the way back up to top lane. With no econ. What if you got nothing top lane? What if you got no kills? What if all the bad things happened? These are possibilities. So don't results base the fact that she got plates, she got kills, and she got a lot of stuff that got her fed, right? It shouldn't have happened. But it did, because Emerald, and that's part of the game as well. Beat who you're playing against. Don't have to be Challenger Jungle to be a Diamond Jungler. You just have to be Diamond capable to beat an Emerald player. Now we roam out of base. This I did like. We got item completion. We went straight back to the mid lane. We helped clean up that mess. Now we got a full blue side quadrant. We've seen the Jarvan down here as well. So now, if you're strong enough, I would like to go into the Jarvan's jungle and do some fisting. Why? Because I know Xayah was killed. I know the Xerath is dead. I know that the Rakan is low. You know, this is a 1v1. So if you can kill the Jarvan here, go for this. Get aggressive, right? Get aggressive. Because once you do this, you fight him, you fist him, you can fall back to your blue side quadrant as well. You can catch this and shove this up as well. A lot of cool stuff you can do other than stand still and wait. There are two types of junglers. Those that get a lead and then wait for the enemy jungler because they're not tracking, and those that just say, cool, now I can kill everybody. And they just run in, kill and take a shit, shadow this, take this, fall back to this, reset, and repeat the process. Jarvan's had a decent game, but he's like panache. I'll say that. He's not a very sexy, I mean, no Jarvan player is sexy at all in terms of that kind of stuff. It's very fundamental. And obviously abusing Shojin and Gore Drinker and the ECDR, I mean, it's not very difficult to pull this champion off at the moment, unfortunately. But as long as you control your camps, press the right buttons. Again, she's just sitting around. You know, I know she's playing around the ultimate, and I know she's getting things through the setup. We'll get this one in here as well. This is good, right? Like, this is nice. But while this was good in terms of, okay, let's go Twisted Fate. I'm waiting in the fog. Let's go. She's done that a lot this game where it's just like, you're leaving camps, you're only doing one camp, and you're going back on the map. Waste of time. But, good lockdown for her team, and she's done a good job overall. So we give credit where credit's due for those things. Now we're going to overpush this one here. We do have our ultimate up, so we can use that. We get stunned by the Riven who's ulting us. The Jarvan just easily kills the Twisted Fate with the Riven ultimate there. And now we're out of position, and of course we lose this 2v2 pretty severely. Yeah, this is the thing. What is Jarvan? At 7,000 gold with 7.5. And we had the Herald, which gave us free 2 plates. The econ, the lack of efficiency in the pathing, that has cost her hugely. And if the Jarvan was a bit more dynamic with his counter jungling, with his positioning, I feel like he could have really punished her as well, but he didn't. Story of League of Legends. Someone made a mistake and I didn't punish them. All right. Now, Garen decides to shadow this. Rakan says, I can help you guys, because Rakan is a good and enjoyable champion. Twisted Fate presses the off button. We're going to have the Rake here from the Xayah. I don't think she's going to live much longer. She should be doomed. She is. Vi's leaving her base as we watch this one. Jarvan shadowing, waiting to put a sandcastle down. She's now going to hold mid lane here. Hello, Xerath. And here's the problem with the mobile mages. You can be super fed, you can be strong, you can be good, but if a melee fighter gets onto you with their low cooldowns, their low haste, and the point and click and easy to use abilities, you die. You can be 3 levels up, it doesn't matter, you die. Sucks. Class is not in a good place at the moment, but this is good. Out of base, stop this, go to the Herald, watch this, and just pay attention. We like that. How long are they going to stay down here, though? We take the Herald. He's taking this. They're basing finally. Now, you could go aggressive here, but there's a dragon coming up. So I understand the kind of desire to take the red here. There's no reason for us to necessarily base. We can hold the mid lane turret. Now, we can definitely go look for a fight here. I think that's fine. I'm okay with that. Nice hook on the Xerath. That should be a cute triple flay from the Thresh. That's beautiful. Rakana's dead. Sandcastle Man goes dunking. But he's the prince of nothing as his team is rinsed. And obviously now he's going to be killed. The Vi says, I can handle you, bitch. And then Riffin's on the back line, still trying to kill people, getting stunned by yellow cards, stunning the Garen, trying to use mobility. Vi just goes straight to the dragon. We agree on that one. And she should live. The original mobility champion. Nice. Playing off her team very well with the CC. I mean, having Thresh and Twisted Fate, it does help your Vi CC stacking quite a bit. But, yeah. Nice, though. 837. Objective control is good. As I said with the Jarvan, he was there. He was out-sequencing. He didn't counter jungle. And he didn't really show the desire to take control. And I think it really does hurt you quite a lot. Always does. You're too passive. And you're fed, you're not going to win. Vi's been a little bit too non-farmy for me, but now we're getting going, right? Except in this particular case, your mid lane is covered with your champions, so you go Grump into the Wolves, into the blue, so you can shadow towards the mid lane. You don't want to go Wolves to the blue to the Grump, or the Wolves to the Grump to the blue, because you're pathing away. So if you go Wolves to Grump and you need to rotate, you're pathing away from your team. So you always want to path towards your team. Critical to know that. We see Jarvan on Vision. Garen is Hellbreaker, obviously. Great item. Definitely was hardcore nerfed. Nah, the nerf did nothing. Because we know this is up from the global timer and we know that Jarvan's on the top side, we'll just sneak this away. We know everyone's going to try and collapse onto the Garen, so we can shadow this. I like this play. This is a good one. This is a good one. Don't know if we should... Yeah, okay. Okay, I can see it. I mean, free kill here. Yeah, okay. I kind of wanted to get involved in this, right? You see where my mind is? I'm kind of want to help out over here just to keep Aphelios alive. But it should be okay because we have Twisted Fate. We're just going to go on the Xerath, make sure he dies. I think that's good. Then we're going to ult the Xayah. Beautiful. Misdirected intent. All in onto the Xerath. Ult the Xayah to make sure she dies. Jarvan shows up. We'll CC and kill him. This was good. This is the game-winning mid-game macro play. You want Diamond? Your early game, like this Vi, can be rough around the edges. But you can refine it. You can get better at it. You can get more efficient with your farm and keep the same amount of ganks and so on. But this right here was a great read. Hey, Jarvan's up. Hey, Garen's fed and he's coming this direction. Hey, I got a second Herald. Let me go and steal a red, shadow this, kill the top laner. Team fight over here, activate the Herald. Let's go. The Herald gets a huge punch here. Beautiful double charge. We snack this inhibited turret. We don't take the inhib so they can't farm and scale. Beautiful. Beautifully done. I love it. This was really, really nice. Take notes. If you're an Emerald, that's the kind of macro play that blows up in games. Even if you're not having the best game. Again, she is having a good game. I'm nitpicking. You have to. If you honestly play a game like this and you think, I'm amazing, I'm a smurf, I'm destined for master, grandmaster, and challenger. No, you can never think like that. You have to think like I'm doing this to Emerald Jugglers and I'm probably doing something wrong because the guy was still almost 2 levels ahead of me at one point, which can never happen. But I did these things really good. What else can I do good, you know, if you want to speak locally? So, Twisted Fate is here. Now we can just go straight in because we got Divine Sundra plus the Black Cleaver. Riven shows up, gets stunned in the path, gets ever frosted. Jarvan says an EQ dunk in the back line. Now we might be overcommitting just a little bit as we talk about good decisions. You know, when your Aphelios is mid lane and your Garen's down here and you got no TP on them, don't overcommit for the pick. Just don't. Easy to say, but, you know, you're allowed one little death like this. But again, with the Kha'Zix video, we just released this week, where he sat on the one side crying because he lost a 30 kill game in Challenger. It's from these little moments, like these little things can really bite you. So pay attention to your waves, pay attention to when you're actually being caught out. And sure, 1 or 2 of those moments are okay, but a lot are not. Because now your team are without you. What, 999,999 million damage from the Xerath Q. That hook did not hit. So weird. How Riot continually break their replays every patch. I don't know how they do this. It's always something broken. Every patch, it's always something different. I don't know. Aphelios is now doing work. Garen did some work. You're gonna do some more work right now. Business! I have business with the Empire! Yeah. It's good to get the Garen fed. Like, I get that, you know, but it's not worth going Grump all the way across the map to use the Herald top lane. I mean, Look, your Aphelios and your Garen are using the lead you gave them. That's huge. The Vi's definitely been, in this game. Very well. Good fights, good picks, good macro. And we like that. This is all positive stuff. And we're always about getting better. So if we were to refine this and say, how do I take all of the good stuff I've done, get better? It's okay, learn when to back a little earlier first rotation. Learn when to not die unnecessarily mid lane. Learn when to use it Herald within the flow of doing your camps. Think about the first skeleton, first base. It's okay to go base a little sooner. These things add up. But overall, happy with both junglers. The Vi could use a bit of the Jarvan sequencing, and the Jarvan should use some of the Vi's playmaking. Use them together and you got yourself a diamond jungler.